Hello, I'm glad you've chosen to join me today for a brief devotional message from the Gospel of Mark. Today we're going to be looking at a man who has a boy with an unclean spirit, which the disciples of Jesus were not able to cast out. Our story takes place in Mark chapter 9, beginning in verse 14. And when they came to the disciples, they saw a great crowd around them, and scribes arguing with them. And immediately all the crowd, when they saw him, were greatly amazed, and ran up to him and greeted him. And he asked them, "What are you arguing about with them?" And someone from the crowd answered him, "Teacher, I brought my son to you, for he has a spirit that makes him mute. And whenever it seizes him, it throws him down, and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast it out, and they were not able." And he answered them, "O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you? Bring him to me." And they brought the boy to him. And when the spirit saw him, immediately it convulsed the boy, and he fell on the ground and rolled about, foaming at the mouth. And Jesus asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood, and has cast him often into the fire and into water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." And Jesus said to him, "If you can, all things are possible for one who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out and said, "I believe, help my unbelief." And when Jesus saw that a crowd came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, "You mute and deaf spirit, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." And after crying out and convulsing him terribly, it came out, and the boy was like a corpse, so that most of them said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had entered the house, the disciples asked him privately, "Why could we not cast it out?" And he said to them, "This kind cannot be driven out by anything but prayer." So this man comes to Jesus seeking help for his son who had a demon in him that caused him to go into seizures. The man had already gone to Jesus' disciples for help, but they were unable to drive out this evil spirit. Jesus got on to the disciples because they did not have the faith necessary to cast out this evil spirit. And now the Father says to Jesus, "If you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." This prompts Jesus to respond, "If you can, all things are possible for one who believes." Now, some manuscripts say, "If you can believe," but simply "if you can" is most likely to be the original words of Jesus here. Basically, Jesus is saying here, your words tell me that you doubt my ability to help. You should believe in me. Stop doubting. The man's words show a lack of full faith in Jesus. Next, the man utters these words, "I believe, help my unbelief." Now, these words seem paradoxical. How can the man in the first half of the sentence claim to believe, and then the second half ask Jesus to help him with his unbelief? The man is not contradicting himself here. What he is saying is that he does have some level of faith in Jesus, but at the same time does not have the full faith that he wants to have. At times in our lives, we could very well find ourselves like this man, having faith, but at the same time needing more faith to fully trust in Jesus' ability to help us. In those situations, it would be very appropriate to pray, "I believe, help my unbelief." This is admitting that while we do believe in Jesus, our faith is not as strong as it ought to be. Now, what are some signs that you need to pray for Jesus to help your unbelief? Maybe you are consumed by worry and thus not fully trusting in God to bring you through. Maybe you don't really expect an answer to your prayers. Or maybe instead of praying to God for help, you're not bothering to take your request to God, but instead of trying to do it all yourself by yourself. Maybe you do pray to God, but your prayers are small, not trusting God to do something big. Maybe you're not trusting God's ways to be truly best, and so you're failing to live according to His Word. If you find yourself believing in Jesus but not fully enough, then take time to pray to God, "I believe, help my unbelief," as you seek to have a stronger faith by the grace of God. I hope this message has encouraged you today to pray for those times that you struggle with fully trusting in God and to seek to trust Him more day by day. Check out some of our other videos and subscribe if you have not already done so you can get notifications of our new videos. As always, I hope you have a great week, and God bless you.